So I was scrolling through the comments of some of my recent videos and I saw a lot of people saying that EA have a lot of work to do with Star Wars games, mainly due to the changes undergoing Star Wars games in 2023 with the Star Wars license. And I found that subject to be pretty interesting, so I started thinking of a video talking about this very thing. And I found a lot of interesting stuff that I really wanted to talk about regarding the next year or so for Star Wars games, specifically under EA, because realistically, it's actually not that long to go before EA gives up full rights to releasing Star Wars games. But if EA want to keep a slice of the Star Wars pie for themselves, they have a lot of work to do. Because let's be real, they've pretty much backed themselves into a corner with Star Wars games, and I can see it screwing them over pretty bad if they're not careful. So in this video, I'm going to go over why that is, what needs to be done, what could be done in terms of new Star Wars games, and what it means for the future of Star Wars games and the franchises that we love, like the Battlefront franchise and the Fallen Order franchise. And towards the end of the video, I will discuss why I think there is actually a possibility that once the handing over of the Star Wars license begins, we won't be seeing any Star Wars games from EA at all anymore. But before we dive into all of that good stuff, we do have a quick sponsor for today's video that you guys seem to be really loving. So this video is once again sponsored by Owner Saber. Now they're going to be running a special from October 4th to the 20th, which also includes a giveaway. So here is everything you need to know. During the 4th to the 20th of this month, all lightsabers will be 30% off. 10 people will win a free customized display stand, and the winners will be announced on the Owner Saber Instagram page. The rules on entry are simple. You got to buy a lightsaber, follow them on Instagram, and DM them your order number. Simple as that. The customized display stand will be just like the ones pictured here, only it will have whatever name you want on it. So be sure to check them out through the link below, guys, and once again, a massive thank you to Owner Saber for continuously supporting the channel. Alright, so let's dive into this. So we're getting toward the end of 2021, which means we're etching closer and closer to what is going to be the most exciting times for Star Wars games since the early to mid 2000s. Why is that? Because we're actually going to be getting some bloody Star Wars games. We have had 4 proper Star Wars games released since EA took over the Star Wars license. But as of 2023, it's going to be more like 4 proper games every year or 2 years. So things are going to be changing in a big way really soon, and we're about to start seeing what these games are going to be. Now we already know of the Kotor remake and the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game, as well as some EA titles such as the Fallen Order sequel. The rest are kind of down to rumors and leaks, or they're bloody mobile games or something. But either way, we know that there are big things around the corner. We know that 2023 and beyond is going to be awesome for Star Wars games, as all the things EA should have been doing over the past 5 to 10 years, other people are actually going to be doing it. Now don't get me wrong, I know it's controversial, but I've liked a lot of what EA have done with Star Wars games. I know the pitchforks are probably already out and coming for me, but bear with me a second. Personally, these games have done more for me than just be a source of enjoyment. I love Battlefront 2015, it's what got me into this space, and if it wasn't for that game, this channel probably would never have been made. And Battlefront 2, if that game didn't get made, this channel probably would have about 7 subscribers. Same goes for Jedi Fallen Order, which is one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time. Actually, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Squadrons is the black sheep of the bunch. I don't really care for it that much at all, but with the limited amount of Star Wars game content coming from EA, 75% of it I have absolutely loved. Having said that, there is simply no defending the lack of Star Wars games from EA. They haven't made enough of them. End of story. There is nothing to dispute with that statement. And a lot of people are actually starting to question whether or not EA actually care about Star Wars games going forward. It's like they've already lost the full exclusivity, so they're throwing their toys out the cot and just not doing anything. So, from an exterior point of view, that's what it looks like, at least according to some people. And all of that was strengthened by the lack of any Star Wars game talk in EA's earnings calls over the past year. At most, we get a throwaway line here or there of one of the most valuable and biggest IPs in entertainment history. And for the past 18 months, it seems EA could not have cared less that they actually have it. This is something that many known people in this space have stated, as it is truly mind-blowing how little they seem to care about Star Wars from the outside perspective. And this sentiment is just growing stronger and stronger by the day. So let's cast our minds back to this tweet made by EA when it was revealed they wouldn't retain exclusive rights to Star Wars as of 2023. This tweet right here has been the only source of hope that EA actually want to continue making Star Wars games, and a lot of people are starting to really doubt whether or not something has changed since this tweet was made at the start of the year. Now, I spoke in a recent video about how a bunch of developers and lead designers are leaving DICE, which is putting a huge dash in the hopes for a Battlefront 3. And not to mention, EA had absolutely nothing to show for us when it comes to Star Wars this year at EA Play Live, which caused a mountain of backlash in of itself. But it just seems like games that are further away than any of EA's supposed in-development games are getting confirmed and revealed without any issues. The Kotor remake recently had a teaser trailer dropped. The Ubisoft open world Star Wars game got confirmed and spoken about fairly heavily. Yet none of these supposed Star Wars games that EA are making have had anything said about them officially. No logo drops, no lead designers sitting in a chair like what they did with Fallen Order a few years ago. Nothing. I mean, that Vince Zampella thing, that came under scrutiny at the time, as in terms of reveals, that was pretty terrible, but Star Wars fans would kill for terrible right now, which says a lot. So them having nothing to show at EA Play Live this year for Star Wars, a lot of people simply just do not buy that. A lot of people seem to think it's just proving that they don't really care about Star Wars anymore. And to be fair, EA haven't really shown anything to indicate otherwise for pretty much the entirety of 2021. A lot of people come to my comment sections and try and tell me that EA lost the rights to Star Wars games already, but they haven't. The official handover isn't until 2023. So that in itself kind of showcases that you're not really doing enough with Star Wars if casual people in this space think that you don't have the rights anymore already. So, optimism levels are low right now for a lot of people. Now, look, I'm just making this video. I'm not leading a mob or anything. It doesn't necessarily reflect what I think. It's just from me sitting back and observing. But, I mean, things don't look that promising. But I mean, it could all just be outside perception. It is very likely that EA are remaining committed to Star Wars and there is a big future there, but they just aren't doing a good job of showing that. So EA, they've got a lot of work to do. Star Wars fans are turning on them again. They won a lot of love back in 2019, but they've lost a lot since. And it is getting worse. I think we've all seen the sentiment shift lately. Fact of the matter is, EA aren't going to be the be-all and end-all of Star Wars games really soon. They're going to have to compete to earn their keep and profit off of this IP, and they've got to undergo some big changes or they're going to be outdone by other publishers making Star Wars games in future. Because the lack of attention to this IP isn't going to fly when the license opens up. They can't treat Star Wars like they are now in a couple years' time. Nobody is going to care. It'll all be about what Ubisoft is coming out with, or other companies, etc, etc. So I hope EA really turn things around in 2022. I don't make these videos to bash anyone. I try and help and say my piece to aid in fixing problems with this IP. Like, I'm rooting for EA to knock it out of the park in 2022 for Star Wars games. I really am. But man, they need to get it together. If they don't, then I think that says that they just don't care about Star Wars games anymore. And fans can just look to the future of Lucasfilm Games and whatever publishers end up making new Star Wars games. So guys, that's about it for me today. Go ahead and let me know down in those comments your thoughts on this. And if you did enjoy this video or agreed with anything said, drop a like to show your support and consider subscribing for all things Star Wars games. But that's it for me today. Thanks for watching and have a good one.